Every day I'm rising to my inner vision.
Hello and welcome to the Unknown Tribe, Palmaïa's channel where we'll be discussing, debating, and talking to the amazing people that make up the Palmaïa community, from incredible guests to amazing people who work here. And tonight, actually, is it day or night? I don't know. Day, afternoon. So today, yeah, exactly, we have Chef Charly García, our executive chef of Palmaïa, and hopefully we can let's find out what he's really made of, shall we? So Charly,
let's do it.
I got to know you in Cabo, right? Like
In
8
Cabo.
years ago, I think.
9, I believe. It
9
was
years ago.
2014.
So why don't you tell us about how you ended up in Cabo? I want to know
crazy.
before what you were doing, what dirty little secrets you have.
It's crazy because I literally just told that story to someone 30 minutes ago. The whole story. So I have it fresh.
Okay, repeat.
I was working for this big steakhouse in Mexico City, which obviously brand I'm not going to name.
Ooh.
But I was there and I was enjoying the experience. But I think timing and even destiny or something had something different for me, because I met this person in the kitchen, one of my cooks, who started introducing me into like some type of veganism plus like conscience about the profession. Like, how do we either be part of the solution or part of the problem? And those questions that I've never really asked myself.
Yeah, and if you're working in a steakhouse, I guess the amount of
Yeah,
animals
we were
going
doing
through there.
700 steaks a day
Oh
or
my
something.
gosh,
So imagine, you know.
And what about before that? I mean, how did you get to be the executive chef of actual high-end steakhouse? I mean, I want to hear your
It's
dirty
great.
Mexican street stories. Like, what were you doing? Like, what was the first time you grabbed a knife?
Oof. Okay, we're going there. I was a rowdy kid my entire
Join the club.
adolescence. I did a lot of crazy stuff, and I think that I was really in the verge of not doing anything with my life, or like maybe working whatever I could, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a pilot, a combat pilot, and when I did the Mexican Army test, my eyesight was not proper for that, so I got rejected.
Yeah.
After that, which is the only thing that I really wanted to do, I didn't know what else. So I just started working in cafeterias and cinemas and whatever I could, the part-time jobs. And the rest just mostly doing sports or chilling.
Yeah.
Until my mom, she made me promise her that I was going to do some kind of high school, college. Whatever I choose, whatever I liked, but something. And I've always had this inclination to cooking because in my family, there are great cooks. My grandmas, my mom, whatever. So I gave it a tryout. I went to the culinary school, which by destiny or chance was exactly at the same day that I was considering doing something with my life. I went, and like next week, there were like the inscriptions.
Yeah.
They were accepting students. So I went there.
In Mexico City.
No, this was in Cancun.
In Cancun?
Yes, sir. This was in Cancun
before, right?
Yes, I was in Cancun before I got here. It was this little school called the Chefs, who was run by this rest in peace chef called Piedras y Torres, who was quite famous back in his time.
And Cancun is pretty different then, right?
It was super different.
Yeah.
There was no buildings. It
wasn't the mass tourist destination.
Yes,
right?
sir. It was so more natural and chilled. Anyway, I went to this school, and the second I stepped in a kitchen and I put on a chef coat, I transformed into someone different. It was I was born to do this, and the fire, the adrenaline.
The calling, exactly.
I was finally able to speak my mind like harshly and no one get offended. I'm like, this is the place to be.
Right. The discipline, because a lot of people don't understand, like kitchen work requires a lot of discipline, right? It's almost like an army.
Martial discipline.
Isn't it? It's not, and when you start from the bottom, it's not easy at all, right?
Yes, sir. And see, the thing that happens to me, at least, is that I get to focus, which is to me very hard to do for some reason. I don't know. But when I'm there, I get into the zone. So nothing else matters. And I'm like 1,000% of myself is there. and I get to forget about everything.
I always refer to these moments when you're doing this one thing as a meditation almost, right?
It is a meditation.
Because it's like suddenly this channel opens and all the creativity then starts to flow through, right? You have to be completely, as you said, in that zone. The zone,
You're in the zone.
allows
the
greatness
frequency
to come through, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And how did you channel that greatness then afterwards?
It was crazy because obviously when you start doing something you don't know, like the first thing was to harness this energy that I had, to focus it, and eventually to find my own path, and by that finding my own style, my own way of expressing my creativity, my craftsmanship.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I still do Spanglish.
Creativity is good enough. Yeah.
But yeah, and I had great mentors, and I think, as you said, it's about discipline, yes, but it's also about being willing to serve, being willing to be an apprentice, have zero ego, and be humble enough so that people are willing to teach you what they've learned over the years. And that is the greatest gift.
And it's also super gratifying for these older people who've been in this industry so long. For them, it's almost like their pride to be able to show all their teachings to the younger next generation, so they can come through as well and do it their way, right?
Of course, it's a way to preserve the knowledge, but the thing is that most of chefs are very hard and very tough, and they don't really go out there to be like giving away their knowledge for free. So you got to be earn it, and you got to be exactly. You got to be worth it. You got to put your work, do the effort, and eventually, when you accomplish, you earn their trust, and you're worthy to receive their knowledge. Everything changes, but yeah, I think it's preserving what they've mastered over years, because cooking it's an empiric thing. You have to do it with your hands, with your heart, with your mind. You can read a lot of things, you can watch videos or anything, but nothing comes out of that better than when you have someone giving you the exact guidance with their own hands.
Well, it's the individual passion we have for the things we love, right?
Yes, sir.
And after Cancun, then when you finished training with all these people, then's when you went to Mexico City.
No, so I started in Cancun during the culinary school. By the time I started culinary school, I was already a kitchen helper. Then after the 4 years that I went to school, by the last year, I was already working as the junior sous chef for this famous chef called John Gray, who had a lot of restaurants.
I remember him here, yeah.
So I worked for John Gray's company for like 3 years. And so after John Gray, I moved to my first all-inclusive resort, which was Charisma Resort called Azul Sensatori. Yes, sir. When I was in Sensatori, I met one of my masters, one of my mentors called Miguel Cortázar, and he took me to Anderson Group, which was the restaurant in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Sir.
And then, as we said,
I was there. I met this guy. He showed me this aspect of the profession that I really never paid attention to. And then I was like, what? Wait a second. So beyond this whole passion that we just discussed, can be a greater mission? Can I be part of something greater than myself, something greater than my very own desires or passions or aspirations? And the answer was yes. And when I discovered this, I'm like, okay, I'm all in. How can I do it? And I was in that mindset when I got this phone call from Paulino.
And you ended up
I was
Cabo.
in Mexico City watching a traffic, like, because Harris, well, this place was at the, what's the name of the avenue? Presidente Mazarik. Was in Mazarik. So traffic all day. And this guy comes like, so how are you doing? I'm like, great. Would you send me a picture of your office right now? Okay. Sure, why not? And it's like, well, let me show you what could be your office. And he sent me a picture of Don Diego.
Trickster, right? What a trickster.
Yeah, he was such a
emotional blackmail.
Like, completely. I fell for it. Like, I'm like, so when are we going?
Exactly. Showed you the surfing
I went for it. Like, it
waves.
took me 2 days to decide. I'm like, I'm going.
That's so good.
Yeah, but I was already in the mindset. And it's fun because when I went there, I remember the time he told me, like, so the owner's coming and he's vegan. And he's like, and I'm like, wait a second, I just read something about this. So, and then I pull out my Matthew Kenny card, remember?
Yeah. Well, I remember going because I didn't expect anyone to make anything more, because once I started eating plant-based myself, it became hard to eat in hotels, right? So when I go to Cabo, there's a room that has a little kitchen in it, right? So I'd always stay in that room. And in the afternoon, I go to the supermarket, buy my own stuff, and make my own snacks and things, and make my own things, and just like, just
Sure.
Because in the all-inclusive resorts, most of the 95% of the stuff has animal proteins and things in it, animal products in it. So I used to go and buy my own things. And then once, when you arrived, no, they told me, I know the chef wants to make you something. I was like, nah, don't be stupid. What's the point?
It's gonna give me fajitas.
Don't worry about it, man. Whatever. I'm cool.
Of course.
And suddenly I was with some of the people having dinner, and they brought out this plate for me, and it was I can't remember what it was. I think it was the like something with zucchini and stuff.
Like a raw lasagna.
I was like, wow, this guy is making an effort. This is strange. Who's this guy? And then I think I met you the day after.
Yes, sir.
We started talking. And we were chatting, and then
chat a lot. And
and then I said to you, "Hey, so there's got to be a way of getting people to eat less meat,
sure,
right?" And the reason I was in that mindset at the time was because I saw all the well, for me it was the health benefits, but for mostly it was because of the horrible industrial animal agricultural system, which basically decimates life and treats it like shit, right?
Yes,
so,
sir.
They don't give a damn about life, and these animals are cramped into these lots, and that's 99% of the global food production now. And I was thinking, there's got to be a way we can get someone to these poor lives. How can we save them, right? So, because when you start going plant-based, you go through very many different phases, right? And that was my phase of, I need to get people to stop killing animals, right? So the business idea was, this guy's got talent. I've got an idea. Why don't we do something that's so good that isn't meat, that tastes like meat, so that you don't eat the meat? Right.
Sure.
And we started talking, and we visited a few little food trucks in Cabo. Right?
I remember that. Yeah, we went very long distance to find this food truck in the middle of the desert.
We drove a few places, see what they're doing. We said, let's do a food truck. And you were like, yeah, okay, right?
Let's fucking go for it.
And how long was that? I can't remember since you were
exactly
there.
9 years, to be honest.
No, but when I met you, and then we opened the food truck in Tulum, I think it was only like 4 months, 5 months, was it?
Yeah.
I think probably saw you in summer, right?
Yeah, we met in summer, and I think
we opened it in
the 31st of December. Remember?
Imagine. So that's a fun story, right? The opening of the food
we'll get
truck.
there.
Yeah.
That was a crazy story.
That was a good one, yeah.
But that you mentioned that, I think that's been one of the, I haven't realized it until you mentioned it. Most of the things that I do right now in Palmaïa have to do with presenting things in an appealing format so that everyone feels attracted to it. Like let's do something that tastes like meat, looks like meat, but it's not meat.
Yeah. Well, you have to make the familiarity, right? Because if you're going to take the thing that people love so much of a plate, right? And you're going to try and say to everyone, okay, try this option. You don't need to do it all the time, but just try and see what it makes you feel. It better have something good enough.
Of course.
That's as good as the one they love, right?
Sure.
Because if you just give them a bunch of lettuce and kale, then they're going to send you outside the door, right?
And as you said, it goes a lot deeper than that. Because remember, when you're talking about food to people, you're talking about their beliefs, their family, their traditions. So
it's a tough
criticizing food, it's like criticizing their family, their granny cooking.
Yeah. So we didn't do that. We
didn't. We just
so good that
here's this.
Yeah,
try
exactly,
it.
Yeah. So I remember because it was all pretty new for both of us, right? I mean, I remember when I started eating plant-based, I think it was around 2010, I think, 2010. I remember also inside of me was that sort of thing about oh, this is a challenge, because everything I've always cooked since I was a kid, right? So I think I cooked pretty well, right? And I was like, wow, but if I start eating like this now, right? I don't know anything anymore. I need to relearn everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember starting to eat, and I did all these ingredients like nutritional yeast. What the hell is that? Spirulina. I mean, all these things, right? So how was it for you as well when I said to you, hey, you got to cook plant-based, man? I mean, everything you've learned's got to hell. Learn something new, right?
Man. It was so frustrating. That was one of the first big lessons.
But the challenge
in my
is
life.
cool, right?
It was so cool, and the gratification at the end of the journey of that specific phase of that journey was incredible. But the first thing I learned was to unlearn. That's the first hard process, because you're so
stuck in our ways,
stuck in your ways that when someone asks you voluntarily to switch something,
well, professional cooking is mostly based on French cordon bleu. Right, which is all these
techniques from the
bases
40s and the 60s,
and the butters and the this and everything, right? So once you lose your base, which is a cordon bleu, what do? You're left with nothing, right? Allegedly. But there's so many other ways to make things, right? Which is what we
It feels like a prohibition at the beginning, yes, because everything it's not allowed now, and the ingredients you know how to use, you cannot use them no more. So if it's limited, but as soon as you let go of this fear, because it's fear, because you're I don't know, as a chef, you're very well prepared and
Yeah.
and
You're gonna be vulnerable in a way, right? Like
exactly. You get
things could go wrong.
Just
and
start
it's okay,
by
right?
like
Yeah.
feeling again like a new cook. Like, oh shit! So what do I do now?
Yeah.
How do I start doing this? And I couldn't, to be honest. The first week or two, I was super frustrated.
No, it takes time, doesn't it?
It takes a lot until I decided to go vegan from one day to another. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go vegan for a month so I can start feeling the way. Like how do you what do you crave for? How do you feel in your body? And then maybe from that perspective, I can have a better approach on what I'm trying to do because I have no idea.
I remember also when we decided we were going to do obviously Mexican tacos and things, there was this little tiny like hole in the wall on the coast here where this lady used to comida corrida, which is
in
like
Puerto Morelos,
coco, right?
Coco,
and we still and it was like so it was like what 40 pesos for a whole plate of these plant-based sort of like meat imitation fillings and stuff. Yeah, right? I was like, Charlie, look, these textures are interesting. I'm sure if we could use something in a different way, why don't you go and speak to her? And you stayed with her. You offered to work in the kitchen for free for a few days, right?
I was her slave for like 3 days
in the summer heat.
It was horrible. There was no fans.
Yeah, but I think it was a good base, right?
That was a great base.
Yeah, she was great.
To be honest, I think exactly. Within the tower of my foundation, so in vegan food, she's like number one, like first stone.
Because it was actually simple, but it was super tasty, right?
Super.
And I knew you could like power that puppy up even more. So I was like, this guy's got to do it. And you did. So from then on, right, we decided to do the food truck in Tulum. So we bought this food truck in Austin. We imported it, brought it to Cancun, decked it out, and we rented a space in Papaya Playa in Tulum, right? Which is like when Tulum was really cool still, right? I mean, it was so amazing.
So nice.
And also not just that, Papaya Playa at the time then was like empty. There was no one there.
There was no one there.
Putting a restaurant there was like, we're in the middle of nowhere, right?
I actually kind of remember that the main road
was dead, right?
It was.
And nowadays you can't, it's like just rammed with people.
I was so sad. I went there like a week ago.
It's changed a lot.
It's changed so much.
But when we opened the food truck, it was really cool because we opened, as you said, we were doing it in the. We think it took us like a few weeks, right? We just did.
But here's the story about how we opened the food truck because I love how he skips to the nice parts of this story. So we wouldn't know what it was going to do. We knew it was going to be Mexican food, tacos, the whole everything. I already went to Coco. I had some kind of a grasp on what was I going to cook. Not a lot, to be honest. I was aiming to open like, I don't know, within a week or two because we're still hiring, whatever. But this guy shows out of nowhere on the 31st of December, 5 p.m. and was like, we open today. I'm like, what do you mean we open today? It's like, yeah, we're going to open today. However we can, we're going to open today. So let's go to the supermarket. And he literally drove me to Chedraui and we bought whatever we could. And I think I did one taco and maybe one corn. Or like it was like 2 dishes in the menu.
I remember shoveling gravel, like getting the thing ready.
Yeah, it was crazy. He went all in, like started like serving tables, everything. This friend of mine was there. Remember, Gabi?
Yes,
there was this lawyer who was my friend. She used to. She went to culinary school with me, but never really became a chef. She was visiting me, like, hey, I was just passing by because I heard you were like maybe needing some help or whatever. I'm like,
so good.
Dude, you saved my life. Come help me. And she ended up, we ended up popping a bottle of champagne.
And there was one guest, one customer.
Till the date, I'm still friends with that.
No way, that's amazing. The couple that were there,
yes, sir.
The photos on Instagram, like the first photo we posted, I think our first guest, it's still there.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. So anyway, I think we started like, but this is also a good lesson for like entrepreneurs, right? How starting a business is so tough, right?
Oh yeah.
Because like when you launch a new brand, no one knows who the fuck you are, excuse my French. No one knows anything. And when you open, you think everyone's going to start coming, right? Oh yeah. And we were like, for a whole year, I think we sold an average of $150 a day. If so, right? And for a whole year.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude, I think we've messed up. We better close this thing down. Yeah. We were September, low season. Well, this is really bad.
And that was high season.
Sometimes you had like flat lines of zero, I think. I remember. And we were like, no, what are we going to do? This is so we were always thinking, this is like, maybe we did the wrong thing. And then I remember November came, which was like the high season. And suddenly people starting to flock there, right? Yeah. It was like
it became a spot.
Like all the years' work we've done, like of PR, like social, whatever. So it seemed to have worked, and then people started coming, and the business started working.
And we cater for like great people. I remember we hosted the Jason Wu's wedding.
Yeah, we did. We hosted. We did it was really. I think we were one of the first vegan taco like named like that in the world. Right? There was this guy in LA. doing this crazy
La
guy.
Venganza.
Amazing, doing
Raúl
incredible,
something.
man. He's amazing. He's still there, I think,
Yeah,
doing it.
he's
But
a
he was one of
crazy
the
guy.
first ones as well.
He
But
was on Pioneers. Yeah.
very few like places doing like sort of vegan tacos, right? And now it's like a staple almost in most like festivals and nightclubs and places. So anyway, after we were in Papaya for like 2 years, and then we had to move out of that space.
And we went to Love.
So we
Tulum.
went to Love Tulum, so again, and moved the business again, and then we did that
all over
again. And then something happened with the ownership there. Like 8 months later, we had to move again. So we got this place we rented in the back of the jungle.
In front of Los Amigos.
Yeah, and we started building a restaurant to have a fixed restaurant there, which nowadays the location was amazing. It was almost next to
it was
close to Heartwood, right? Just further down, like just further down from Love.
From Love to Tulum, it was close to Heartwood.
Nowadays, we're prime position. But anyway, so we started building, and one of the guys like sawed down one of the mangrove tree branches, and the guy took a photo, put it in the press, and the whole press came, and there was a whole show there, and we were like, whoa, what's going on here, you know? And then someone invaded it. They took it away from us. So then I spoke to a friend of mine and said, hey, I've got a problem. I was building, and then he said, I got this land further down, right?
It was very
And we were like,
which
dude,
now it's prime zone.
That's like that's almost in Belize. It's like you may as well send people to Japan.
It took us an hour, right?
But anyway, we got that place, which turned out really cool. It was a beautiful spot, I gotta say. But then it kind of coincided with this like boom of Tulum and COVID, right? Well, before even to COVID, there started the boom, and the traffic was so busy. It was hard to get there, right?
And even so, and since we have put a lot of work into the past locations and years that we were working on a concept, people still showed up.
Yeah.
Most of our customers that we had at the first location still showed up.
Yeah.
We hosted another great events there, like 2-3 weddings. Yeah. I remember I still have a picture with Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
he went there.
Yeah, he went there for this event. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful location. It was a beautiful concept, and I believe it was only the beginning of a bigger story.
Yeah, so we wanted to grow it more. So we decided we'd bet all in, and we decided to open in Miami, right?
Oh yeah.
So that was a fun adventure. It took us like, how long did that take? We had a great partner there who was really efficient. So luckily, because of him, we were able to open at least in like, I think 8 months was it? I think
maybe 8 months. I think like 7.
Yeah. So we managed to open it, and again, another tough year.
Oh yeah.
Like the first year is always so tough in business, and most people don't appreciate how difficult it is the first year, So anyway, the first year, it was like struggling, and then suddenly once it flipped that year, it started to do really well.
But one thing you need to know before we get to the very well part is that for some reason, Alex always chooses to go against the current, like forever. So we were the only vegan spot in all Wynwood, and I think one of the 3 vegan spots in all Miami.
It was for the one that many then.
They were like, I don't know, maybe 5. And out of those, maybe 2 were good.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's true. Yeah.
So Mexican vegan, we were the first
crazy.
one.
Exactly. It was
crazy. And it's, this neighborhood is very famous to be like, they have a lot of street food. So that was
but that was tough for you, right? Because you were like traveling to Mexico to there, and then trying to employ the people in Miami, and it was super difficult, right? They were super like, man. The workforce there was so.
It was a great experience though, because I learned a lot about how to handle those kinds of things. The system's different.
Yeah, but I remember one Friday when you weren't there,
they walked out.
The 2 main chefs argued, and they walked out. We had to close the restaurant down for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So it was crazy. But anyway,
everything happened. Then our basil happened.
Our basil.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was good as well.
It was so good.
And then we started to work after a year, after 12 months, right? The January hit, and boom, right?
Yes,
and then suddenly in March, as we all know, COVID hit. So
here we go again.
We didn't really survive COVID. Well, we did survive COVID. We got some relief from the government, which was we used to pay employees and rent and everything. And we opened again. The problem was that
limitations.
It was impossible to employ people because all the big groups have moved down to Miami because everyone was locked down in the north, in New York and everywhere.
That plus the fact that the government was giving a check for them to stay home.
Yeah. So
and whatever they were getting was more than what they could get if they go to work. So people didn't want to go to work.
Because our product was like a medium lower product. So all the restaurants that were opening were high level. So they're offering people so much money, no one wanted to work for lower levels, obviously, which makes sense. And in the end, we closed it down, right?
Yeah, we had to.
So when we closed it down, I was like, hey, Charlie, what are you going to do, bro?
I don't know. I was trying to head to Portugal.
And I was like, hey, I got this.
I got this place.
We got this place now open. Hey, why don't you come
They
and join
might
us?
need some help.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We just opened this place, Palmaïa. It's been open for a year. You should join us, right? I mean, come on. It's down your alley, no?
Which was crazy because I thought after this whole having a restaurant in Tulum, being vegan for so long, learning techniques, that I was ready and I was at a good level of my cooking skills with vegan food. But as I got to Palmaïa and I started like witnessing what was happening with the crew that they had, the chefs that were working here and everything, I was mind blown. I'm like, dude, I'm a cook again. It's starting all over, man. I need to relearn, to unlearn, and then take new knowledge, the whole everything. And it was beautiful. I clicked with everyone. People were super nice.
Yeah.
The resort is beautiful. And
I think it was cool because you were here for like a year, right? Just helping the guys out. Because I was like, well, let's see what happens with the restaurant. We'll see what we do. But then in the end, obviously, when it had no future, then also the chef who was here at the time was leaving for something else, right? So I said to you,
okay, Neil,
bro, you're the only person that needs to, this is your spot. You're going to take it or what?
Yes, sir.
So you took it, right?
So I did.
4 years now, right?
Yeah. And again, against the current. It was like high season within the next week. We had a lot of reservations, events, and the whole everything is like, all right, Charlie, go for it.
It's easy for you. Come on.
No, I'm used to it.
Exactly,
I know that's what I'm expecting. Alex, he likes to have things.
Let's make it fun, right?
Make it fun.
It's not fun.
That's the way. It has to be. There has to be adrenaline involved.
It's drive. Feel the drive. Feel the drive going. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
sir.
Right.
Power.
Yeah. So what about now that we're at Palmaïa? Why don't we talk about the what we call the whole food system the nourishing biome, right? Because it is that for me. It's this biome of like connected systems that all feed your health, right?
True.
And what we decided to do is we didn't go all out plant-based because we understand that many people aren't quite there yet. They may not want it. And also people have different like needs within different couples, right? So sometimes you'll get maybe, actually we would get guys sometimes who are more plant-based than the women. It doesn't really matter. But the fact is that we allow some flexibility. So all the menus are plant-based, 100%.
Yes, sir.
And we allow there are some swap options where you can add animal protein to the menus, right? But the most important thing, I think, is the fact that what we're doing, which is super difficult. Most people, don't really realize how complicated it is the promises that we have, right?
Yeah, the statements we do about.
Yeah, so the idea is for us to remove all the toxins of the modern food system from the menu and provide a clean eating system, right? So if people come in and eat, they should feel better just because they're not absorbing all these toxins, right? So for example, there's no refined seed oils, there's no processed sugars, there's no processed flours. All menus have fermented foods in them. All breads are made with fermented sourdough starters,
probiotics,
right?
prebiotics, yes, sir.
So all these things that we put within the menu, right? I mean, how was that when I told you we were going to do that?
Hey, Will, you guys are listening to this podcast, so like this is like the 7th time he put me into this
in the end, you're going to be. I'll make them eat air only.
I'm like, okay, well, here's a glass of water that you can have because it has nothing.
Nothing in it.
Yeah,
so that was an interesting challenge.
It was an interesting challenge, but again, when you get put in that spot, there's only 2 choices: either you go all in and you do your very best and you like evolve within your knowledge, which is the part that I like the most. I love challenges. Yeah. That's what keeps me going. It's what drives me. So I've been there a lot. And about us, I think sure that it's been a journey because he simplifies it like, oh, so we went from this to this, but it was 4 years of us like try and error.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
Sorry for my Spanish, but fucking it up a lot. Because there's a lot of things that require many time to develop. Like the pizza dough that took us like a year or something. The textures for the burgers. Like there's some things that, but after a long journey of trying and understanding and learning and investigating, we have finally come to this nourishing biome concept when it comes to the food, that we can have these promises to people, that we know that our system works, that we know that people, when they allow themselves to connect to what we do, they feel better. They discover the benefits of this lifestyle. And, well, I believe that's the goal, right? To provide an alternative for people.
Yeah, I think the way I see it is also that normally people like, there are many vacations where you can also be healthy at the same time. So a great thing is coming here and being able to live a healthy lifestyle while you're on vacation is amazing because you almost kill 2 birds with 1 stone, which was one of my favorite sayings, right?
Yeah, vacation don't have to be unhealthy.
Exactly. And when they come here, the idea is that as you're here for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, if you eat only fiber, it's a great way of flushing your system and reducing inflammation in your body. And the prebiotics and probiotics, they help your gut lining and everything. And we could go into the pro-meat or non-meat debates, but honestly, where we live, there's not much agriculture. So ideally, if I would only offer regeneratively farmed animal products. The problem is that doesn't exist here, right? So I think it's best in our case to keep the animal products to the minimum and provide more vegetables and fruits and lentils and pulses and all these things that we can guarantee are a good quality and have less toxins in them, right?
Of course. And again, to present it in a format that's not restrictive is something that we have come to learn over time, is that people react. Again, remember you were asking yourself, how do we do that? How do we make that people try this food more? Well, one of the paths of that has been to not being restrictive and to be
flexibility.
Flexibility,
right? Exactly.
that's the word.
Absolutely.
So when you present a format that people either meat eater or vegan can join the same table and enjoy
and
themselves.
Visually beautiful, right?
And visually beautiful and with technique and talent and thoughtful and obviously nourishing, and
I think it's super important.
That's well, it's the formula.
Well, yeah, I think we're doing a great thing. I think if the reviews speak to themselves. Thank you to all the beautiful people who have been here and given us amazing reviews and love what we're doing. And I think there's lots more to do, right? We're just starting the journey every year. We have
this guy.
No,
we're just getting started.
We got this guy, not me. He does it. I just dream it. So yeah, I think there's so many more things that we will do, but it takes, these things take a long time, right? And the back of the scenes is so much work that people don't see. So when you think of these things, also sometimes we get impatient, right? We want to do this, but then it always takes longer because we're crossing new boundaries, really, where people haven't created this sort of system in a resort setting, right?
And we're not cutting any edges. We're doing the work.
We have to do it properly.
We're doing properly. So we know that the outcome is supercharged with intention, good vibe.
Yeah, talk about intention. Tell us about this amazing journey you made to Oaxaca lately, because you sent me this email. Hey, boss, I got this little mushroom thing in Oaxaca. I want to go. And I was well, okay, go on then. Why do you want to go? And he goes, no, I want to learn about mushrooms. I was like, go then. And you went for like 4 days to Oaxaca, right? And tell us about that. I think it's really interesting. Yeah.
See, one of the things that inspired me a lot now that I'm in this wellness journey and within the Nourishing Biome system that we're doing is that I want to know more about where do the things that we serve come from, and beyond where do they come from, how did they come out, like how were they created, what's the composition? Because again, like the same exercise I did when I became vegan to understand better, for me this gives me a different perspective of how to treat the ingredients in a better way so that I can enhance their flavor and discover new textures.
And raw ingredients, everything, right? In the end,
yes, sir.
The simpler the better, and
it's also a matter of respect, because we have disconnected a lot from the origins and from the sources of things. Because everything is prepackaged and delivered to the front house, so you don't really have to do nothing. But when you go back to the origins of things, you have a different understanding and respect.
I feel like they've taken the whole system, the industrial system's taken the soul away from the food, right? The energy. It's like, as you say, it's just cuts. You're just buying this mostly things that are packaged in plastic, which have no life, and you're eating them, so you're eating things with no life and
no intention.
It's so important to go back to like live and beautiful things from the earth, right?
Absolutely. And I had the fortune to meet this awesome crew. This one lady called Ita, if you're watching this, I love you. You're great. She's a Nunu. She belongs to a tribe called Nunu, which is the people of the rain. And she is rescuing her culture now and getting the codex from her culture, who is written in their language. And we had a lot of interesting conversations. Amazing. Like as we were walking in the middle of the mountain, it was like 3,600 meters above the sea level, by picking up mushrooms from the ground. And I'm talking, I have a picture with this.
That was amazing. When you sent me that picture, I was like,
this
what
is
that?
This is not real.
I know, it looked incredible. It looked fake. Yeah, it was huge.
They look fake. They're huge. They're like Mario Bros mushrooms.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
It was incredible. So I got the chance to experience all of these things, and she was very, very knowledgeable. She told us how the interaction of the mushroom and the mycelium works underneath the ground, how it's connected to every plant, and the synapses between the information interchange that they have, the whole everything. It was insane.
Incredible.
So I was blessed to receive this knowledge, and now I see mushrooms in a very different way, and I treat them as such, and it has.
And I hope high season, we want to bring a load of these mushrooms here, right? So we can cook with them.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully bring the amazing lady here, right? So
yes,
she can
we
teach
will.
us all about some all the medicinal values of mushrooms and their culture, and
So many.
hopefully we can integrate some of the beautiful Oaxacan culture with the product. No,
Oh yeah,
again,
definitely.
these things take time, right? So little by little, we're going to be adding more and more incredible things to the food program. Hopefully, no.
We're working on that. We're always looking to this to get to the source of things, to talk to the real people who does the work, and to learn from them, because that's what brings intention. Because they do this with love. They do this because it's part of their culture. So what a better way to learn
for
it.
us as a business in Mexico to be able to find a way to contribute to the cultures that make up our society here and the culture of the Mexico, which is so varied and incredible. I mean, most people don't understand the amount of variety and just the food alone in Mexico. There's so much variety. There's thousands and thousands of different dishes that you can't even imagine exist, right?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, we kind of look at history and we think that the Spanish conquistadors came and they wiped out Mexico, but they actually didn't. If you ask me, they failed.
Scratched the surface.
If you ask me, they failed. I'm half Spanish, and if you ask me, imagine it was an abysmal failure, because if you go into Mexico and go to these places, you find all these different incredible cultures of people still maintaining it alive, which is so beautiful. Because we're kind of brought up with the history of like, you kind of feel guilty about your culture being the one that wiped out another culture. And for me, it's so beautiful to know that, wow, I can contribute and help raise this and bring it alive when my ancestors probably tried to wipe it out.
Yeah, they tried, but one thing now that you're maybe half Spanish, but you also have Mexican. You've been here a lot.
Yeah, well, yes.
We're very strong people, and my people endure, and they're still here. If you go to towns, as you said, you can discover the culture, which is super beautiful. Super beautiful.
And I hope we can bring more of that into the product, obviously, which is incredible, right?
We definitely will.
And so, what about this? What's your favorite food? Is it Mexican?
That's a strong question. I don't know. See, the thing is that for me, food is related to either an experience or a feeling. So I don't really have a favorite dish. I have a favorite moment.
Yeah.
And then that moment connects me to whatever I had, or whatever resembles me to that, or remembers me to that. So I would say, for example, I don't know, tostones, which is a dish I put on purpose on a Mexican menu, even though it's not Mexican. They remind me of my culture from Nicaragua, from my mom. So I love that dish itself. I don't know, soups, vegetable soup is something that I love, because I remember my mom used to make it a lot.
There's something magical about the nostalgia of the smell of food, right? It's like you smelling the grandmother's pie or something, right?
Someone asked this question that was very interesting about, what would you recommend to people who's very apprehensive to cooking vegan food? Like, because they come to your resort and they have all these options, and they're like, oh yeah, if I could eat this like this every day, I'll be vegan.
Everyone says that. Yeah.
But like, how am I going to do this back home?
Yeah.
My suggestion is that you do need to follow a recipe book for something very complex, but when you're cooking for yourself, you need to cook with love. Because again, for me, food, it's related to feelings. So go to your kitchen, open your fridge, and like play your favorite song, open a bottle of wine if that chills you, and enjoy the process. Something nice will come out, maybe. And if it doesn't come out, then you already know it didn't, but you enjoy the moment. And eventually you get the grasp on it. See, the thing is that good food, very, very good food, is simple food.
That's
very
so
simple.
True.
Even the great chefs in the world, they all end up going back to the origin of this little tiny kitchen in the middle of nowhere, learning from this old lady who does the best 3-ingredient pasta in the world.
Absolutely. One of my favorite dishes is just Japanese perfectly cooked rice, translucent and shiny and airy, and just a bit of fresh kimchi on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Rice and kimchi. I'm good to go. Amazing.
Less is more. And it's all about that. It's all about feelings. It's about heart. It's about intention. All those things. Because again, something that I say a lot, and I started like telling it to myself. I don't know if why, but it's a deep belief that I have. Every time you cook, if you are in the right mind, it's not even a mindset, in the right feeling, in the frequency, the outcome, it's wonderful.
Yeah, because most people, when they don't want to cook, right, or they don't feel like cooking, they're probably already in the negative vibe, right?
Exactly.
It's an interesting point.
That's the thing. And also, food is a vessel of energy. You can, that thing that you just did, describing the rice like the perfect
just-
taste. You can feel the taste in your taste buds.
Exactly,
You were
right?
already eating it.
Yeah, I could feel a little
Yeah,
rice
I was like,
wigging in my tongue. Like, exactly, it's true, isn't it?
It's the energy, like the
is,
soup, the mom soup that I'm telling you. It's like you were feeling, I don't know, sad or something, and then your mom made this with a lot of love because she saw that you needed it, and you're literally eating her love in a soup, or whatever.
And for this reason that you're saying exactly, I think is why most people can be apprehensive to trying plant-based food, because most people's go-to nostalgic remembrance of the beautiful, perfect food is their grandmother's or their mother's cooking, which almost always is an animal product.
Exactly.
Right? In England, you got the roast beef and Yorkshire puddings. You've got your turkeys. You've got your shepherd's pies. You know, in Mexico, you got your tortillas con carnitas.
There's a lot of meat
so all
involved.
that reminds you. So you can't take that away. It's very hard to take that away from someone because that's part of their memory in their life, right?
True.
But if you can say to them, okay, look, but I've got this beautiful dish which tastes incredible as well, right? And it's maybe healthier for you, it's maybe tastier for you, but you know, you could just start by combining them both and see how you feel, right?
Of course. And again, if you enhance the fact that this maybe not taste as good as your mom needs to, but it's very much alike, plus it has all these benefits. It's going to be good for you. It comes from a good source. It was made with love, professional hands, good intention. It's nourishing. This whole everything. It's a plus. It's like, what? Just, I'm not going to tell you. The food will speak for itself. Just try it. You'll tell me.
We've spoken a lot about how we've tried to replace the one with the other, right? But there's also the other side of it, which is basically when you go plant-based and you try and travel the world. I remember at the beginning when over the first few years when I was plant-based, I remember the only places I could travel to were the places where there were vegan restaurants, right? So I was like, I circle like, okay, LA I can go to. I can go to New York, I can go to London starting. So there were like 3 destinations you could go to. Because anywhere else you'd go to, you'd ask for a plant-based dish and they'd fry a bunch of vegetables and put them on a plate with some rice. And it's all the same everywhere. They'd boil a cauliflower and put some sauce on it, right? It was the same 3 dishes all around the world. So what we do, which is unique for people who are on their plant-based journey, is that you don't need to think, right?
Sure.
Every single option is curated and done for you. You don't need to. You're not the afterthought. You're not the side menu. You're not the appetizer menu. You're not the little corner menu.
You're the
with
protagonist.
2 items you can choose. Every single dish here you can eat. And then the animal products are the swaps, which are which are less amount on the menu. So here it's the other way around. So I think that's interesting as well. No one's really done that in the world that I know, right?
It's a strategy we've come up with, and it's proven to be the right thing to do. Now, I have a question for you. Now you were speaking of all these things. Do you remember what was the first time when your vegan journey began that you either ate a restaurant or that you cooked yourself something? What was the first vegan plant-based dish that you had you were like mind blown about? Rice and kimchi.
I don't remember that, but I'll tell you something. I never knew what vegan was or any of this. It was all very weird. It's like, what's that weird bunch of fringe people? I don't know what it was, right? But then once I went to LA, right? And in LA, there's an area called Silver Lake. I have some great friends from Spain, Claudia and Michelle.
I love those guys.
Michelle's Canadian, Claudia's Spanish, right? And I've known them since London, since many years ago. And they were living in Silver Lake, right? And they were like ultra super vegan, plant-based, super healthy, and always like on the latest thing, right? And I remember going to their house in Silver Lake, and I was kind of sitting in his kitchen, right? And Michelle was like, cooking away, and he was like, yeah, so what I did with these almonds is I soaked them, and then I sprouted them, and then I put them in dehydrator for 24 hours, and then I put them with this, and now I'm eating them. It's so much more nutritious because it maintains all the enzymes. It's better for your health. And he started talking to me about all this vegan stuff. I was like, this guy's weird. What's he on about, But then, but it kind of like got me interested. Like, this is different. I like different shit, right? So I'm like,
of course.
And then the end of it, yeah. So Claudia gave me the Colin Campbell book called The China Study, right? So it's a whole book about it proves how when you the book it shows how when you eat meat, it activates cancers and illnesses in your body. And when you stop eating meat, it turns off the cancer cells and things in your body. I could debate it either for, but I read that and I myself was like, oh, I don't want to eat meat anymore. It's not good for you. I stopped eating meat. And since as I stopped eating meat, that kickstarted my journey into needing to learn to eat some alternative.
Of course.
So the first thing I ate was smoothies.
Good.
And so I was like, gee, I can't cook any of this. I started making smoothies every morning. So I blend smoothies and add tons of powders and smoothies and things, right? And then I started doing tofu scrambles. And it kind of like, I started doing breakfasts first. And then I did lunches, because you need to build a little repertoire of dishes, right? Otherwise you're going to get bored, right? So I started doing breakfasts, then I did lunches, and then eventually after 6 months, I moved into dinners as well, right? So it actually took me a year to go fully plant-based at the time. And some people can do it cold turkey, others can't. And my journey took me a year because at the time, there was nothing to buy here as well. The only way I could get ingredients to cook was when I'd go to the States, I'd pack a whole suitcase from Whole Foods or whatever, all these ingredients, I'd bring them over and I'd be cooking with them, right? And I'd run out to go and get more. And then little by little, more places here started getting these things. And even like places like Costco would start having quinoa and things like that, you know? So definitely it's become more mainstream now. Like you can get pretty much raw cashews anywhere and things like that. But I don't remember a dish as such that kicked me off. It was more the process and the learning because for health reasons at the time. You know?
Well, I'm going to rephrase my question then. Now that you're a pro plant-based cook, what would you say will be a dish that you make outstandingly? That you'll be like, I'm a master of this. I'm like,
I think I'm definitely a master of Italian food, because that's the first food I started cooking when I was in boarding school in England. When I was like, I went to boarding school when I was 10 years old to 18. And I remember you had to eat school food, obviously, which is disgusting. But when we were 16, like the last 2 years, 16, 17, 18, anyway, last 2 years, we got access to this tiny little kitchen at the basement of the house we used to live. Nice. So I was like, oh, kitchen. I don't want to eat school food. I want to cook. So I brought this Italian cookbook in the store and I started making all these Italian dishes. And I got home and I cook Italian for my grandparents because I stay weekends with them and things. So yeah, I started cooking Italian from a young age, and Italy's amazing. I mean, and then I studied in London, and all my friends were Italian, so we'd eat Italian all the time. So I think Italian food is definitely a great versatile Mediterranean dish. And it's so easy to combine with so many different things. Like I think spaghetti or whatever, pasta is an incredible dish because one base ingredient has thousands of combinations.
Of course.
Even a risotto, you can make it 1,000 different ways, right?
I'm Mexican. We have corn.
Exactly. So these base dishes are so versatile and they're so easy. So they're so humble in a way, right? Because you can cook them quickly at any moment, and with 4 or 5 ingredients, you can make a great tasting thing, always with good quality olive oil.
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, I think
Italian. Okay, so Italian is your strong suit repertoire for cooking.
I say it is. Yeah,
we're gonna put that to the test at some point.
Hey,
because I know this guy for 9 years, and until this day, I haven't got a pasta. So we'll see about that.
I gotta cook for the chef. I mean, come on, it's embarrassing. You're too good for me, man.
I want to try it.
I humiliate myself.
Now I want to put you in a spot.
Go on, then. One day we'll do it.
Good.
And what do you think would be your favorite dish in Palmaïa? I mean, for us, it's weird because we eat here all the time, right?
Of course.
So when you eat all the time, it almost gets a bit like, I won't say boring because it's not, but when you eat a lot here, it is hard to get these extremes of flavors that you get the first time you come, right? So what's your favorite dish at Palmaïa?
It's a great question. I'm between Poblano soup here in Plantisa.
Oh, that's the one.
Who's very, very simple, but it's always very
It's
warming.
pretty consistent as well.
It's very consistent. I love it. And Ellie, she's a great cook.
That's my favorite soup.
She's always happy, so her food tastes like happiness.
It does.
And I think, well, that's like my humble dish or my humble side of food. And I would say omakase will be
because of the complexity. Or
complexity, the fact that we have perfected the cooking rice process, that the ingredients are always different, and I don't know, it's just it's technique, it's color, it's the quality of ingredient, and it's also the fact that it's a free dish. Omakase means whatever the chef wants.
Exactly.
So it's literally that. And then they get inspired and do awesome things. Obviously, some days are like crazy good and some other days are good. But the freedom of the dish is what allows it to become what it wants to become.
The creativity,
it's the creativity.
I think one amazing hidden secret here is these umami moments you can get here. And I love having like one of the Charly's Vegan tacos with one of the fillings with the sauce and everything and the spice and the little cream and the lemon juice on it. But I like taking a bite of that and then grabbing a little bite of the dessert banana.
Oh, yeah.
And putting them together.
Love that banana.
Jesus, that's so good.
It is so good.
It's like getting a food explosion of flavor in your mouth. I think that's definitely a hidden secret, right?
That's crazy you mentioned, because I think you taught me that aspect of my cooking skills when it comes to Mexican food now, on vegan food.
The combination.
The fact that everything have layers of sauces. Because that was something you've always like, and we need a lot of sauce in this and sauce here.
Well, do you know
why?
why? Because you actually taught me.
You're right.
You know when you taught me? Before we opened the food truck, we actually decided to try out the concept, see if it worked. So we entered into a vegan taco competition in LA.
Exactly.
Right? And that taco was so good. I think it's still the best taco I've ever tried you've made.
I think it was when I ever made.
I think it's because, as you said, you know what? It's funny because we all cooked it together in that little Airbnb we rented, sweating over the stove. For 12, I had to pay for a new stove, man. So, exactly.
And I had Leo frying.
Exactly. We were all like making it together.
20
and
hours.
These huge sauces, like 12 hours of cooking.
It was
crazy. But it was
crazy.
like 3 different sauces on there. I was like, whoa. And we won Best Vegan Taco.
That's true.
In LA. So that was amazing. Then we're like, okay, we'll do the food truck then.
Yep. Exactly. We were ready. That was the one. That was a kickstart.
So, well, thank you so much, Charly, for taking the time out of your sweaty schedule in the back of the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's been beautiful to talk. I really appreciate having you on our team, and we've been together many years, and hopefully we're going to have many more years together. We're going to accomplish more amazing things at Palmaïa.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much. It's an honor. It has been an honor since day one, and you've always been one of the biggest masters I've had within this journey, and for that I'm very thankful.
I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you.
And about intention, we try our very best every single time.
Every day.
That's what we represent.
That's what we all do.
That's what you
taught us. The only way we can do it.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I'll see you around the resort.
I'll see you around.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.